Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to this very special webinar. So, please, I would like to get your feedback. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me see you in the comment section. While we're here, I'd like to say thank you to the people who joined even before we started. Hi, Dimoke Jessica. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing. Hi, Abiola Adiwali. Thank you. Hi, Esther Matthew. Hi, Miss Reina. Good to see you again. Hi, Oba Maybell. Hi, Ozioma. Hi, Yemisi. Hi, Joy. And hi, Okmomen. How are we all doing? Welcome to this webinar. Hi, Mandu Reeves. Welcome, everyone. So, for quick housekeeping, let me know where you're joining us from. That is one. Secondly, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. While we are that, let me also know that my setup is okay. You can hear me, give me the thumbs up. Let me know if you're joining the session from Abiola Adewale can hear me loud and clear. So where are you joining this session from? I am teaching you from the beautiful peaceful, loving city of your Ibom State. Where are you joining us from today? Let me see you in the comment section. So I'm going to open up the group now. I would need you to please take a screenshot and share in the group. That's the make the most of your child's holiday group. Just want to open it up quickly. So, hi, Reina. Reina is from the UK. How's the UK today? Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Hi, Favor Babalola. It's so good to see my people again. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Good to see you, ma'am. I'm happy to have you all. So let's have 5 more responses. We have 16 people on the call. That is fantastic. We can get this up to 50. So do me a favor, take a screenshot of this beautiful face and just send it to someone right now. Take with please. Live, please, you need to join. So I can see Okpamen. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. From Edo State, Benin City. How is Benin City today? Now, while we do this housekeeping, we'll start by exactly 10 minutes past 8. But I want to make sure that everybody is here before we start. So please do a screenshot. The group is open now, or any of the Learning group you're on, whether it's on the courses, wherever you are, just please help me do a favor. Take a screenshot and share with them so they know we are live. Thank you so much. The reason, right, why I always, for the past 2 years, have organized what I call holiday webinars or back to school webinars is because I honestly want more parents to take the reins, right? When I say reins, I mean REIN, to take the reins of the children's academic journey. This is why for the past couple of years, for the past 2 years exactly, I have intentionally designed this webinars to enable you that as your children are moving back to school, whether it's from the first week of September or even if they've resumed school already, you already know what to do. Think of this webinar as a farmer who, right before the farming season, is getting their farm implements and their farm tools and their seeds and they're tilling the ground. Imagine that this is what this webinar is to you and is to your child. So if you're joining us, where are you joining us from? Let us get your feedback in the comment section. Now, what this webinar does for you is really to arm you. So you're moving back to the new school year with a direction. You're not moving back to the new school year, no, pushing your hands against the dark. No, you're moving with light. You're moving with strength. You're moving with energy. You're moving like that farmer who has a set goal, which is to plant a seed, hope it germinates, and hope it grows. This is why this webinar has come to be. And every year, we're going to have it repeatedly. We have 26 people on the call. Thank you very much. So let me know where you're joining us from. I have Abiola from Lagos. Hi, Jamila. Good to see you. So how to equip your child? I have Benita from Owerri. Hi, Benita. Good to see you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining. Alrighty, so let us get this ball rolling. How to equip your child with skills for the new school year. I have Esther from Oka. I have Favor Babalola from Kogi State. I have Benita from Owerri. Thank you all for joining us today. So let's move to the crux of the conversation. I promise you that you're going to leave this webinar out. I just ask that you sit still with your note ready to go. So I had to push the webinar to ensure that you sort your kids out. My baby is beside me here. She's been sorted. She's napping. I hope you've been able to sort out your gang too, your people too. So we learn how we can equip our children with skills for the new school. At the end of this holiday, before we move to, I'm already going to my slide. My name is Precious. If you're just meeting me for the first time, I am an educator. I'm the founding director of Lenville Crest Academy, where we are all committed to giving every child the right head start in life. We're located in the center of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, and also the convener of School of Entrepreneurs. I wrote a group for teachers and entrepreneurs who want to learn. That is Teach and Impact. I also am the convener of the School of Entrepreneurs. I've seen my people here already. Shout out to my DMM drivers. I am also the founder of Learn 8, under whose umbrella we're running this webinar. I'm the convener of a number of courses. My goal in life really is to equip parents with the tools that would enable them become involved in their children's life and education. So I find that a lot of parents feel that when they've paid the fees, when they've taken care of their children's fees, and they've settled the child and they've settled the school. But oftentimes, I have realized and have discovered from my decade of experience that nobody has a stake in your child's academic life like you do. That is one. Number two, nobody is a stakeholder in your child's development like you do. No matter how we, the school, the teachers, the school community, and the church community loves your child. But if anything goes wrong, the only person that will run kitty kitty kata kata is you, the parent. Number three, your child's academic journey is too damn important for you to give total control to an outsider. Having observed this truth for over the years, that was Aid coaching company. What we do at Learn Aid is simply to aid you to assist your child. So we're not equipping you to replace the teacher. If so be it, fantastic. For those of you who want to jump on homeschooling your children, that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is simply to equip you so you get involved. And you don't just get involved, you get involved with knowledge. That is why you're going to spend your next 1 hour plus with me today. And that is why I've also designed something amazing that I'm going to share with us on the course of this webinar. So few webinar ground rules. I hope you can see it on your screen. quick webinar ground rules. This webinar is going to last between 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes, including the Q&A session. So please do me a favor and ensure that you take off all distractions to enable you to concentrate. If you have questions, put it in the comment section and I'll be able to answer to your questions after the session. I'll also give you access to the link so you can come on live and we interact and answer your questions. I really want you to leave this session knowing what to do. Whether you've come armed with knowledge, or you've come confused, or you've come with concern. I'm not selling you anything today. Let me say that. I just want you to leave here today armed with knowledge. I want you to leave. I have come for you. My next 1 hour, 30 minutes is to invest in the next academic year. So please, if I've come with my A game, please give me your A game. If not, we all go home and sleep. It's already late. All right. Let's start. At the end of this holiday, I said some weeks ago during live call, your child can either return to school armed for success or disarmed for struggle. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. I want you to type it in the comment section. Now, averagely in Nigeria, the holiday is roughly about 3 weeks in some states, 3 weeks plus in other states. Then in some other states, the new academic year has begun. But in all of this, there is one central truth, that we are still at the peak of the start of the next 1 year of your child's life. And the opportunity you have now to invest in your child's life, you won't have it again until a full year cycle goes and we get back to the long back for 2025. So you can either decide to design this holiday to arm your child, that they go back to school ready to succeed, or your child's holiday has disarmed them, so they are going back to school ready to struggle. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. So let's do a quick webinar overview of what you're going to be learning. Number one, we're going to be learning how to analyze our children's reports and identify specific areas of need. 2, you're going to learn how to balance your holiday schedule, that it has learning and it is fun. You're going to learn practical things to do to improve their English, literacy, math, science, cognitive skills, learning skills, and all of those good stuff. You're also going to learn engaging games and real-world learning opportunities that can make learning enjoyable for your child as you equip them for the new school year. The next thing you would learn is how to tailor activities to your child's interests. Then lastly, we're going to look at strategies to support your child's overall well-being and social skills. Now, this is a lot, right? But I am really hoping that at the end of this session, you go back knowing exactly what to do. Now, why do you need to arm your child during the morning? Why do you need to ensure that your child is going back to school by September, or they have already gone back to school? Why do you need to ensure that your child is going back armed? Number one reason is to prevent learning loss. Now, from experience, I have found that a lot of children experience what we call summer slide. Now, what is summer slide? Summer slide is simply a phenomenon where children come to school without the basic information, without the basic knowledge that they have learned in the previous term. So the very important concept that children have learned in the previous term, they come back to school tabula rasa. They know nothing about the information they had gained in the previous term. And this is simply as a result of an unintentional holiday plan, where a child is left to do what they like, probably spend hours on screen without any intentionality as to how to ensure that this child's, whether it's their learning gap or the learning loss, is prevented. If there's anything you take away today, take away the fact that learning is a continuum. One of the questions one of the parents sent in when I asked for the question was that she was asking that my child struggles with maths. My child struggles with maths. I've done everything. I've done everything. Now, if you're that parent, it's simple. Learning is a continuum. I always say this. Learning is a continuum. It's a continuous process. So if a child experiences summer slide, apart from the basic revisions the child's teacher is going to do, if they get to the next class, the teacher is only going to build on top of what has been learned. So it is your responsibility to ensure that the key concepts that the child has learned is retained. Now, I'm not advocating for an extra summer school if it's not in your plan. I am not advocating for an extra homework teacher if it's not strategically in your plan. I am only saying that there is something you can do intentionally to ensure that you prevent learning loss. Another reason why you must plan your child's holiday intentionally, or to spend the rest of the 2 weeks remaining intentionally, is that you can identify learning gaps. So let me see us in the comment section. 1, to prevent learning loss. 2, to identify learning gaps. A lot of learners have several learning gaps. These are simply holes in their learning experience that could hamper their progress. So your child's learning gap are simply, let me look at it as holes, right? They're simply holes in their learning journey that can hamper their progress. So it is your responsibility as an involved parent to identify what are my child's potential learning gaps. What is my child's potential learning gaps? So for my daughter, her learning gaps that I have identified would be around numeracy and her writing and legibility. So since I have identified that learning gap, I have curated the holiday experience. I'm already moving ahead of myself. I have intentionally curated the holiday experience to suit those gaps that I have identified, without a lesson teacher, without a board, quote unquote, without a marker. But everything we are doing is suited to enable her to thrive as we move back to the new school year. I've only done this because I have identified what her learning gap is. Now, in identifying your child's learning gaps, let me not move ahead of myself. I'm going to come back to this learning gap. Hold on. Let us now move to a key secret that if we close this session at this point, you've gotten everything I'm saying. So everything I'm going to say in this session and in this webinar is tied around this thing on your screen. Possibly take a screenshot. This here is the magic that will ensure that your child goes back to school in the coming school year armed for success. This thing on the screen. It simply says that one of the greatest secrets for mastering any skill whatsoever is spaced repetition over time. If you've attended any of our webinars any of my webinars in TIP, does not have a lot of you here. Thank you for being here. You would know that I talk about spaced repetition over and over again. One of the greatest secrets I need you to leave this session with today is that spaced repetition over time is the secret you need for your child to thrive. Let me see it in the comment section, everybody. Spaced repetition over time is the secret of today's webinar. I am going to break it down over time, but if this is all you go back with today, I'm done. A simple effort to ensure that your child is constant and deliberately practicing the concepts that they will learn, they have learned, or they are learning. Spaced repetition over time. One of the challenges that learners face is that they don't understand the concept of spaced repetition. So a concept is taught in week 1. So the average learning week is 12 weeks to 13 weeks. A concept is learned in week 1. And after that concept is done in week 1, that learner drops it. What happens? Week 10 comes and it's examination. And this learner tries running helter-skelter to remember what they learned or to reinforce what they learned in week 1. It becomes a chore. This right here is the secret of the great. Now, spaced repetition over time is not just in academia. I wish it was just in academia, but it is not just in academia. Spaced repetition over time is a skill that every individual, every expert that has mastered a skill knows and lives by. This is why a Vusi Tembequayo, for those of us who know Vusi Tembequayo, will handle public speaking. And you're wondering, is this a god? This is why pastors are one of the greatest orators to walk on the earth. It is routine. It's easy, right, for anybody to preach. But to preach with skill, it takes constant and deliberate practice. So for everybody you see winning, this has been their secret. Spaced repetition over time. So in today's webinar, I am going to teach you how you can leverage the 10-hour rule in helping your child. If you're here with me, let me see you in the comment section. I'm going to be sharing with you a secret, which is how you can leverage the 10-hour principle in your child. Now, the 10-hour principle, a lot of people do not know that you could apply this to your child's learning. For those of you who have read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, this principle was drawn from the book Outliers. The 10,000 hour rule. The Olympic Games just concluded, I think a week ago, thereabout. And I saw Peter Obi's tweet, on, Peter Obi's tweet, where he was lamenting that the Nigerian team went for the Olympics and they came back without any medal. That is, a whole 200 billion people were represented by a select few. And of course, in sports, those select few should be our best. But these guys now go to compete and they didn't come back with any medal. I heard Coach Wendy say this years ago, and it struck something in me. She said, How do you expect an Olympics that you prepared for in 1 month, 2 months, 1 year to the Olympics? How do you compare your result to a person who has been training from birth? I saw a documentary of the gymnast. Can somebody remind me her name? I think it's Simone Gabriel or something of that nature. I think it's Simone Gabriel. I found a video of her. What I'm expanding right now is the principle of the spaced repetition over time, constant and deliberate practice. How it can be the game changer in your child's learning this session. I think her name is Simone Gabriel. I should have confirmed. Please let me know the gymnast that won the gold medal for gymnastics in the Olympics. She has always won. She also has a documentary on what's it called on Netflix. Now, this lady has been training to be a gymnast from when she was about 6, 7, 8. Can you all hear me? I'm seeing hello, hello in the chat box. So please let me know. Can you hear me? Can I be heard? Guys, can you hear me? Can I be heard? Team, please let me know if I can be heard. DMM Tribals, please let me know if I can be heard. Yes, thank you, Esther. Now, this girl who has gone on to win, she's a 27-year-old at the time, and I heard during my research that at that age, you're no longer as flexible to compete with the 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are competing in the same game. Now, what was the game changer for her? The 10,000 rule principle. That was the game changer. Now, before I move further to breaking and demystifying what this is and how you can run with it to ensure that your child thrives, I have a good news for us. Now, this particular project is one that I'm excited about. So sit tight, let me share something with you. I will be right back. Don't move a muscle. You're going to be excited about the news I have. Keep it locked. I'll be right back. Who saw that? Let me know what you just saw. Now, over the years, I have worked with parents. Over the years, I have worked with parents. But there is one question they always ask me, and it is, Coach P, how can my teen, how can my preteen learn what I'm learning as well? Now, beyond what parents are asking me, last year my sister-in-law visited me. I come from a family of educators and I'm married to a family of educators. So she mentioned that she was assigned as one of the vigilators for the 2023 WAEC examination. So she mentioned that she went to a particular school. So all the while she had been posted to another school in town, which was okay. She just go give the examination. The children were, the school had discipline, right? But she goes to the school in the rural area. And just as she arrived, the principal asked her, Madam, how much? She said that was her first year conducting the WAEC, and until that particular day, she had gone to a particular school. So they reposted her to this other school in the rural area. And this principal asked her, Madam, how much? And she was like, how much what again? And he said, don't act as if you're ignorant. How much are we paying you for you to allow these students use their textbooks for the exam? You don't want to know the rest of the conversation. But let's just say that my sister-in-law came back from that particular experience crying and heartbroken at the reality and the menace of examination malpractice. If you were an educator here, you would agree with me that this is becoming a pandemic, an epidemic, and we need to call an emergency for our children. You know, I know you're going to say, oh, my child is going to be safe. I know the school I take my child to, but there is a generation that we are about to lose to examination malpractice. And let us not forget that these children who will have to pay to pass the examinations will be passed on to the university system, and that system continues, and they will be the ones to get into the workforce tomorrow. These children will be the doctors who will treat you. These children will be the lawyers who will defend you. These children will be the postmen who will protect you. These children will be the teachers who will teach the next generation. If we are pushing out a generation of children who lack the integrity, the grit, and the focus to study to succeed in the examinations, what are we doing as a nation? In a past webinar, I had the data of the increasing rate of examination malpractice in our country. And on an average, every year, examination malpractice increases from between 10 to 15% yearly. And whether we like it or not, the influence is rising. The influence is on the increase. And I want to ask myself, do I have to wait for when my daughter gets to JAM for me to do something? This is simply why we're organizing the Academic Excellence Conference, an absolutely free conference for teenagers and pre-teenagers. The conference is for the 30th and the 31st of August. This conference is going to have Coach Chiedozie speak on how they can re-engineer their mindset for academic success. We're going to have Mr. Michael Okoli. He's going to be speaking on how to sit down and read. The rigor of sitting down to read is being lost in our fast food generation, where everything is fast. There is social media, everything is fast. There's fast noodles, everything is fast track. And as a result of that, we are losing children who have the skill and the rigor of sitting down, sitting their butts down to read. In that conference, we're going to teach you children how they can sit down to read. We're also going to have Somi Wonder, a transformational coach. Teach your children how to govern themselves. Self-regulation is a key skill in raising learners who will be able to study and succeed in the examinations. Your child is going to learn how to govern themselves. We're also going to have counselor Udeme teach your child how to choose their career. Like, if I go into the story of choosing my career with my father, if we're not going to live here today, it was a crazy experience for me. And honestly, I don't want any other child to go through that experience. Still around that, during the Q&A, I had a parent ask me a question around career. Now, if you are here, I have brought a counselor to sit with your children for 1 hour, 30 minutes, taking them through a British certified counselor. Let me make that point clear. They will sit with your children in a call, taking them through the rigors of choosing a career. A lot of us are unfulfilled because of the career path we tread. Then, of course, I'm going to also speak on the webinar on how to become a straight A's learner. If you're excited, in the comment section for your children, for your children's children, for your friends' children, for your church children, for your neighbors, if you're a teacher here for your students, let me see the emojis in the comment section. Now, the details for this conference is going to be released from this week. The registration is absolutely free. I was speaking to one of my speakers yesterday, and I told her that this conference for me is a labor of love. This conference is my contribution to the next generation. We must arise to save the next generation. There is no gainsaying about it. But you can't play hanky panky again. Because as we play hanky panky, it is coming closer to our children. We can raise children with integrity. I know so, and I believe so. We can raise children who get into the exam hall with their shoulders raised high and will come out with straight A's. It is possible. We can do it. We just need to skill up these children. So the registration is going to be coming up shortly. If your child is going to be registering, let me see you respond in the comment section. We will come on board. 2 days, 5 sessions that will get them back to school just at the nick of time, empowered. So while you're learning how to leverage the 10,000 hour rule, your child is also learning how they can succeed during the conference. The registration is going to be up shortly. Please do well to register your pre-teenagers from 8 to 16, and of course, and above. Then finally, I am also calling for volunteers. So if you are here and you have a passion for young people, or you simply want to say, Coach P, I want to hold your hands. I want to help you with administration. I want to help you with control. I want to help you because of course I'm working with teenagers, and I'll need people who will be on the call to control them and to ensure that every child lives with the best experience. You're an admin specialist. I want to help you with administration. Please, we'll be calling for volunteers shortly. If you're a parent here, do well. Please do well to release your children and just be my crusader. Spread the knowledge as much as you can. Esther is asking from what age? The Academic Excellence Conference is from the ages of 8 to 16. From 8 to 16. Now that is out of the way. Let's go back to the conversation for today. Now, what is the 10,000 hour rule? The 10,000 hour rule was popularized by the author of the book I mentioned, Malcolm Gladwell, which is Outliers. It says that it takes roughly 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to achieve mastery in any field. It takes roughly 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. Remember the key word we mentioned in the beginning, right? Spaced repetition. It takes 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to achieve mastery in any field. Now, this concept is not just based on Malcolm Gladwell's findings alone. It was also backed up by a psychologist called Anders Ericsson, who studied the practices of top performers across various disciplines, including music, sports, and academia. These guys worked with what we call the 10,000 hour principle. If you look at the Grammy Award winners of today, these guys didn't start singing in adulthood. The 10,000 hour principle was already playing its role in their lives from a young age. So these guys had parents who exposed them to that particular skill right early. If we're talking about the likes of Beyonce, I think I saw Lady. I have I had to go through a documentary. Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, Michael Jackson. These guys didn't start singing at adulthood. No, they started as children. So the genius level that these guys now operate on wasn't based on, oh, I want to sing, I want to be a musician, let me start singing. No. It took them roughly 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. This is about 10 years to achieve that level of genius and to achieve that level of mastery. Remember, we had already talked about spaced repetition. So permit me to say that for a child to achieve the level of genius and the level of mastery that will enable them to thrive in the new school day, you as a parent must be able to leverage the 10,000 hour rule of principle. What does this simply involve? It simply involves you as a parent incorporating a daily practice of whether it is their core academic competencies or extracurricular activities that you have. It is you incorporating a deliberate practice into their daily routine, where your child can gradually build their skills and improve their academic performance. So the question is now, Coach P, all these things you're saying, how can I run with this information? The 10,000 hour rule is simply ensuring that your child has a consistent, intentional habit of study. Now, when I say study, it's not just sitting down. If you have a young child here, study in this note is not them sitting down to read. What are they going to read? Helping your child in this note is you as a parent intentionally wiring into the day-to-day activity of your child the learning gaps that they have. So let's assume that you've done the assessment for your child's learning gaps and you've identified that my child has issues with handwriting. How can you, as a parent, have and twist into their daily routines a deliberate practice that will ensure that they build that skill over and over and over again? Let's assume that you found that your child has a learning gap in literacy. The child has issues with their vocabulary, not just from the way they speak. You can see it from the report. The child has challenges with their grammar, with their phonetics, with their comprehension. and with their spelling. How can you, as a parent, incorporate into their daily routine things that they would do to build those skills? Now, of course, we're not just talking about academic competencies. We're also talking about cognitive skills, memory, attention, concentration. We're also talking about other cognitive skills that involve critical thinking, planning, organization. How can you, as a parent, carve into your child's daily routine these things that will enable them thrive? The only way you will stop running from pillar to post is to leverage the 10,000 hour principle. So, how do you do this? Number one, you have to create structured practice schedules. Now, this is a blanket statement. I'm going to break it down. But let us move to number two. Number two is to identify and set specific achievable goals. And before we can set the specific achievable goals, we must be able to identify what is my child's learning gap. So let me come back to you in the comment section. What do you think is your child's learning gap? And what goals do you have for the new session? Let me have the feedback from the 23 of us on this live call. Let me have the feedback in the comment section. What is your goal, Jamila? What is your goal, Esther? What learning gap have you noticed? So I don't just want to talk abstractly. I want to work with the facts of what I have from the participants of this live call, right? I want to work with the facts. So let me have the feedback in the comment section. What is the goal I have? I have said mine, that one of my goals is to work on my child's numeracy and her writing. That is for core academic competencies. The second goal for me would be the second goal for my child would be her executive functioning skills. So we're working on responsibility and organization. So for me, it is self-regulation, responsibility, and organization. Then for academic competencies, we have numeracy, handwriting. So in my goals will now be set from the gaps that I have found, which are number one, I want to improve my child's legibility. That's number one. Number two, I want to improve her numeracy. That's one. That's one goal. Now, for Olubumi Ibrahim, she said she wants to improve her child's handwriting and inability to blend sounds to 6 in September. This is a goal that you should have and work proactively to help her. So I like that you were able to. The first one is that we've identified the goal. Fantastic. And you've set the goal. The next person is Chineye Cynthia. She wants to work on a child's Igbo language. This is part of my goals still. But so let me add this to my daughter's goal too. We need to begin to start dialect and handwriting. Fantastic. Reina says, my child's handwriting, focus and concentration, and intrinsic motivation to do schoolwork. Jamila says, focus and numeracy. Chineye says, phonetics, handwriting, and self-regulation. Akmewe says, reading and handwriting are the gaps that I have identified. The goal is to work on his writing and make it more legible, improve his reading and comprehension skills. So this is your writing now. Please also go back to your jotter and write it down. Because in setting goals, you must be able to track whatever goal we set. Okolie Tochukwu said, by keep writing, literacy, numeracy, planning, and self-regulation. Okolie Tochukwu says, my child's reading and spelling. Jamila says she has challenges with mathematical long divisions. That's what we're starting with this holiday. Mercy Onim says, I want to work on my child's numeracy and my 5-year-old's ability to read. So we have a goal. Now let us move to the next step of our goal, which is setting a consistent practice schedule. And how do you do this? For me, what I am doing is to incorporate this goal into her daily routine. I'm going to move into giving you exactly what you can begin to do. But the best thing you can do for a child is to incorporate this goal you have. It is to incorporate it into their daily routine. So Jamila that says that she wants to teach her child long division. Don't you think that randomly, just when you're about writing your market list and you want to divide something, you can get her to do it? For those of us who said that we did work on our children's handwriting, how much rigor of writing have we exposed that child to during this one? How much? For those of us who said that we want to work on our children's reading, how much rigor have we put into the holiday? Now, when we talk about reading, we're not just talking about reading books and sitting down to say, at this time, I want to teach you to read more. So, for my daughter, she already reads, but our goal is to work on her multi-syllabic words and outrightly difficult words. Building it into her routine is that every word she sees, whether it's on a cooking material, whether it's when we are driving past somewhere, whether it's in a mall, whether it's in a park, she tries to read it. That is a consistent routine that has worked for me. So, how can you blend this goal into your child's routine? I'm going to go down to breaking it down for you, all right? I'm going to go down to breaking it down in a bit, but let's stay where we are for the time if I start breaking it down. Like, for example, you want to work on your child's concentration. What activity are they going to do in the morning while having their bath? What game? This one, we're talking about the holiday. It's talking about now 3 weeks to go. So as they wake up in the morning, what are you doing to reinforce their ability to focus? Could it be that immediately after the devotion, they sit for 5 minutes to read? Could it be that? Could it be before lunch, it's another 5 minutes to read? Could it be before dinner, it's 5 minutes to read? How are you incorporating? So it doesn't look, the reason why our children are bored and we are frustrated is that we are making this thing monotonous. The greatest success, a lot of you have been with me over the years, from when my daughter had her learning difficulties. A lot of you have been with me. And it is something I have always shouted. And it is the power of spontaneity and leveraging your parenting experience to help your child's learning journey. You bet your child. You can teach your child to blend during bath time. with your child. You can teach them to blend during cooking. Make it a subconscious effort that every experience with my child is a learning opportunity. If you do that, it even frees up the time for you. And it removes the monotony, it removes the boredom for your child. So, how can you ensure you are, so whether you have a 1 year old, you can start. Whether you have a 2 year old, you can start. But it doesn't have to be this is learning time, everybody. No. But my daughter learned her sound in the bathroom. She learned to say her sound while we're having our bath, or her bath, rather, not our bath, her bath. While she was having her bath. My daughter had issues with spatial awareness for the longest time. She couldn't identify shapes and colors. I always say this: we learned colors on our way to school and while taking a walk. You must, as a parent, because you spend time with your child. You can, as you're teaching your child character, as you're teaching your child the word of God, you can also incorporate skills. So for Miss Reynard, I'm saying that she wants to teach her child to read. Could it be that you're expecting him to do 30 minutes? Do you think that if you do 10 minutes before breakfast, 10 minutes before lunch, 10 minutes before bedtime, do you think that it's going to help with building a routine and building? Sometimes, some of the challenges we're having in our children is actually building habits. If we build habits, they'll be able to focus. Have you thought of incorporating it into their everyday routine? That is one. So right now, let us now go to breaking it down to concept by concept. Let us go to breaking it down to concept by concept. After I'm done, I'll take back your questions so we see if there are questions you've asked that I missed along the way. So, a child is struggling with reading. What can I begin to do? Number one, make your home a reading rich environment. You see, the fact that your child has, if you have a younger child here, start early. The fact that your child has books littered all around them will start that process of getting your child to read. Model reading. These are just the basic things that you should do if you want the child to begin to read. Then number two, there are 3 steps to teaching a child to read. Let me break it up. I have a full challenge on how to teach a child to read. So you want in-depth sleep, please get that. It has helped tons of parents. There are 3 major steps in teaching children to read. Number 1, phonemic awareness. Number 2, letter sounds, identification and letter sound correspondence. Number 3, blending and segmenting. So your child cannot read. Go back to the sounds. Go back to the sounds. You spend an hour to teach them their sound. Then the next thing you do is that you're in the kitchen and you turn. What's the sound of spaced repetition over time? Deliberate and consistent practice. The challenge we have is that we teach it once and we expect it to stick. It doesn't work like that. You teach it once, you create a routine on a drive, on the way to church, during bath time, during potty time. You're reinforcing that knowledge your child has gained. You start with Building the phonemic awareness. I'm going to share my ebook. If you can get the course, fine. If you can read the ebook, you're just going to get ideas here and there. You start with building the phonemic awareness. Then you move to identification of letter sounds. You move to blending and segmenting. But the core of what I'm promoting in this class is that you don't make it a one-off thing. Make it your child's living, breathing experience. Your child is struggling to blend. Make blending a daily routine. Routinize it. So even you, the mother, knows, or you, the father, knows, or the working mother, the guardian knows that before we have our bath, we must blend this. Make it a constant routine. That is where the 10,000 hour rule applies. Then your child has issues with vocabulary. You find that their use of their words is not, they don't have dexterity, they have issues with spelling. Expose them to reading. And not just reading anything. Expose them to reading and vocabulary building. So create a reading journal. As you read, as you routinize the reading, as they read in their reading journal, they build their bank of new words. That's what we do in the school system. But I'm now teaching you to routinize it. They sit back to build their bank of new words. Then, of course, you can get like a board or like a fridge, stick it on your fridge, the new words for the week. So while we get to get water, when we get to go get water, or while we go to the fridge to get water, your child is seeing it. They are internalizing it. Then if you're extra like me, at every point we are playing, we are jumping, you stop to ask. Spaced repetition over time. Your child has issues with comprehension. Get them to begin to summarize stories. Jamila mentioned it earlier. The child has issues with understanding things. Get stories, have your child read those stories and tell it in their own words. That is how we build comprehension and understanding. Get those stories and ask them questions. But what is the deal? Routinize it. Don't make it sporadic. Some of you have so many goals. Choose your top 3 most important goals for the new school and begin to work on those. For example, the 6-year-old that needs to learn how to read, please, it needs to be an urgent project. Getting your 6-year-old to learn how to read needs to be because I guess that the old is already getting into maybe year 1, grade school, or they're in year 1 already. So this is a project you have to run with. Please teach your child to read. So you understand the process of how you can start. We also run LearnView reading clinic, an online version of what we do at LearnView, where we empower children to read. You won't be surprised that all your child needs is to sit with a specific lesson for a period of 30 days, and they move. Utilize it and make it part of your child's day-to-day. That is the child that is struggling to read. Then your child struggles with creative writing. Get them to journal. Utilize it. They go to church, they come back and they write. Now, Jamila is talking about Scrabble. We've even gotten to board games yet. But those things would help improve their vocabulary. The deal about the magic in Scrabble is simply the exposure to words. That's it. The exposure to words. the exposure to what. But where we parents fail is that we do not put these things into the routine. So Coach Fresh talks today. Now you say, "Oh, let's go and do it." On Tuesday, you are in my dad to say that like you are just on your own. You stop doing it. Make it into a regularity. So we've talked about reading, we've talked about grammar, vocabulary, comprehension, creative writing. These are things that would help a child who's struggling with English. Now, let us talk about children who are struggling with handwriting. The reason why any child, apart from age, so if you have a 5-year-old here, I have a 6-year-old here, it's normal that their handwriting will not be at par. I have my 4S rule to help any child with their handwriting. Now, I want to get your feedback in the comment section. I have my 4S rule. S number 1 is shape. Let me see it in the comment section. S number 1 is shape. S number 1 is shape. Let me see it in the comment, everybody. The 33 people who are joining the session today, let me see yours in the comment section. S number 1 is shape. What is shape? Shape is simply, thank you, Olubemi. Shape is simply the formation of a letter. So if we are working on a child's handwriting, you, the parent, must know the right formation. Whether the child's school is just using the literal text or they're using the Nelson's handwriting, whatever it is, know the shapes of the letter that the child is being taught. So, do they do joined up writing in their school? Are they taught just the normal like writing, just legibility? So are they taught the shapes? What shape should a letter be? What shape should a letter be? Then the child has to know what shape is it. What letter is sitting on the line? What letter has a tail? The child must know the shape. So what do we do to routinize it, create it? So let's say that the child doesn't know the shape. You find out that their Y is hanging, their U is this way, this one is that way. What do you begin to do? Create a worksheet. Download a worksheet. Look for a worksheet where your child can constantly retrace these letters. That is one. Number 2, size. Every letter that is being written, particularly for lowercase, must have a synchronized size pattern. One thing that leads to illegibility is when, permit me to speak my language, please. When the child's handwriting is like Mbagoro, Mbada, I'm going to explain it. You go up, you go down. You go up, you go down. The one of the letter is long, the other one is short, the other one is sideways, the other one is like this, the other one is like that size. So while you're working on your child's handwriting, look at shape, look at size. Number 3, sitting on the line. Sitting on the line. What is sitting on the line? Sitting on the line is simply whatever they are writing should sit on the line, should be on the line. A Y can have a tail, but the first part of the Y before it goes on the tail is sitting on the line. An O can be a short letter or a curved letter, but it is sitting on the line. An A can be an uppercase letter, but it is sitting on the line. So you see what I'm asking you guys to rewrite what I'm saying? Spaced repetition. As you're writing it, is repeating in your mind. This is what we ask people to write. Then I've talked about size, shape, sitting on the line, and I have one S more to go. I didn't have it in my notes. I have four S, size, number line, and so if I remember the fourth F, I would say that. But so when you know what these S are, I'm not forgetting the fourth S. Now, when you know what these S are, so we now go to shape. Is my child struggle with the shape? If your child struggle is with the shape, routinize teaching them the right letter formation. Yes, it could be the handwriting spacing. Thank you, Choma Omona. Thank you so much. Spacing. Thank you so. I have my people here. Spacing. What is the spacing for young children? We teach them the. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are good students. We have the finger spacing, right? We have the finger spacing. So as they write a word, they use their finger to space it and they move along. So size, shape, sitting on the line, and spacing. If your child's handwriting ticks all of these things, then we now can grade them on legibility. Another one is speed, but speed is the least thing that we consider. I always say legibility over speed. So the speed is the least thing that we consider. So if your child is struggling with their handwriting, this is the first thing that you must consider and begin to work on. So can someone who told me that their child is struggling with handwriting right now tell me which areas of this S is my child struggling with? Is it speed, shape, size, sitting on the line, or I'll forget one again. So which of them? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I want this class to be interactive. And if this class is interactive, let me get your feedback in the comment section. Don't hold it to yourself, okay? If it's interactive, if you're getting value, let me know that you're getting value in the comment section. It helps the ginger, it helps the spirit to come alive. So someone said, I'm going to call someone now. Let me just go up the comment section a bit. Olubumi, okay, I have already highlighted your comment. Reina, handwriting. Chinenye Onyeme, handwriting. Akpewe Otobo, handwriting. Okolie Tochukwu, handwriting. So, what part of the writing is your child struggling with? Reina says sitting on the line. Akpewe says sitting on the line. Reina says spacing, sitting on the line. Choma Muna Mbo, sorry, your 3 year did not follow in this conversation, please. No. We are not there yet. No, we are still doing what are they calling it? We are still doing fine motor skills and writing shapes. Mbo, please. We have not gotten to. For your 3 year old, let's focus on fine motor skills, fine motor activities, play-doh, threading, screwing, tracing, please, scribbling. Don't push it, please. I'm talking about 5 year olds and 6 year olds now. So, Chama, please take note of that. For your 3 year old, I'm going to send my resources to the group. So just know what to do. Go and um get your play activities, any activity that will have your child pinching and doing like this, working on their fine motor activities. That's what they should be doing. For now, leave size and sitting on the line is not important. At this age, we are doing freestyle. That's what we do. It's important I say that. Shape, sitting on the line. So what do you now do? You go back and routinize. What I'm doing for my daughter at the time, for my daughter right now, it's size. Our size is like this. Like this. You go up today, you come down tomorrow. You go up today, you come down tomorrow. You go up today, you come down tomorrow. That's what I'm still preaching to my daughter. And she's that's still preaching to my daughter. And you guys didn't tell me that these 5 year old children that their mouth is sharp. People did not, my senior colleagues did not tell me. And she started saying, no, that's not what I want. I said, sister. All right. So yeah, so what we're working on right now is size. Her teacher has worked on sitting on the line. We worked on space. We're working on size and some of the shapes as well. but majorly for us is size. Size, and we worked on sitting on the line and what's the called again? I'll not forget that in the name. Let me go back. Spacing. Yes. Spacing. So now we look at the rudiment of writing. What can you now do to also improve their handwriting? What can you also do to improve their handwriting? Give them constant writing practice. Let that child become your scribe. You get to write market list, get them to do the writing. I also advise parents to get a lot of worksheets, dot to dot writing, coloring, dot to dot writing, coloring, scribbling, journaling. This is would also help their handwriting. So a lot of those fine motor activities, right? Those things will help your child's writing skills. Now let us go to mathematics. Let us go to mathematics. How do I help my child? How do I equip my child with mathematical skills? One thing I advise is daily practice. I incorporate daily math exercise. Like I mentioned, my daughter, I'm still working on her maths, and she hasn't gotten to the goal I have. So that's where we are. That's where we are. And because of how I've routinized it and just made it into our daily routine, there's no boredom in it. It's exciting for her, really. It's really exciting. So, daily practice. Daily practice. You can use worksheets, online resources. You can repurchase their worksheets that they used in the previous class. You can do that as well. You can photocopy. You can go online. You can do math games. But daily practice would help a lot. So for Jamila that's saying that she's working on her daughter's long division, then worksheets for that. Look out for worksheets for that. Where she gets to do spaced repetition, constant and deliberate practice. Really does help. Another one that I do is to incorporate daily math exercises into our routine. Sorry, I've talked about daily math exercises. Now, real world practice. Look for maths in everything that happens around the child, particularly if they are younger. If they are older, then it will have to do with a lot of daily practice. But if your child is younger, use real life and real world application. If your child is younger, use real life and real world application. If your child is younger, use real life and real world application to help them. So look out for areas in your child's life. You're teaching them counting, right? Just oral counting of numbers. You can do while you're cooking. You can say, "Oh, mommy, let's play. Mommy, let's play." You just twist in counting of numbers to the play you're playing. You can, let's say you do good workout. I said, "Mom, baby, I'm going to skip." Count when I'm skipping. Say, "Okay, I will count." Then 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Cooking is another opportunity where your child can take part. Sure, I'm not going to spend time in this word application. As a thank you for joining me for this session, you'll have my 60 ways to make life come alive for you. Have you checked that resource at all, guys? Have you checked that resource at all? 60 ways to make maths come alive for your child. Let's just tell me one word that describes that resource. For me, it's amazing. I created that resource in 2023, January, and even at the time, August of 2024, it's amazing. So have you gotten the resource? Have you gone through it? Have you looked at what you can begin to do? So if you have a young child there, I'm going to share it in the group immediately after this session. Go back there, right? Go back there. Go back there. Go back there. Yes, speed is part, but speed is not core. Wakoto Semira. Speed is part, but speed is not core, right? Speed is part of speed is not part. For real life practice, I have 60 things you can do to make maths come alive for you. Then, problem solving skills. Practice solving what problems? What problems can improve your child's problem solving skills and critical reasoning? Which are the foundation that are needed for your child's math success as they move along? Critical reasoning, flexible thinking, adaptive thinking. These things will help. These things will help your child. Then, in also building their what I call pre-mathematical skills, which are skills that enables a child to thrive, I'll also say board games, puzzles. Of course, alternate the level of difficulty as your child grows older. Puzzles, logic games. These things will help your child. So let me go back to address the questions I have about math. Miriam is saying that her child is struggling with maths. Now, according to Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, some people via nature are gifted logically. We have the logical intelligence. In one of my webinars, we have talked about the concept of nature and nurture. We can't undermine the concept of nature. That some people are naturally gifted with some specific skills, nature. But I also advocate that through nurture, we can help our children. So if your child is struggling with maths, I can tell you that there is a huge challenge with the foundation. I have a resource that is how to make math made easy for your child. It also comes with a recorded webinar. You could also get it to understand what math really is. Math is a continuum. So if your child is struggling with maths, there is a huge likelihood that they have a foundational problem. If your child is struggling with math, there's a very huge likelihood that they have a problem in the foundation. The foundation of algebraic expressions and trigonometry is fraction. The foundation of fraction is basic operation. Addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. The foundation of basic mathematical operations is numeracy. Identification of numbers. Identification of sequencing of numbers. So if a child has issues with numeracy, they will have issues with basic mathematical operation. If they have issues with basic mathematical operations, they'll have issues with fractions as we move along. So my easiest answer to you right now is that if your child is struggling with math, you want to look at their foundation. The school system is systemized. We are running on a track. We are running on a track in the school system. And what is that track? We have a curriculum to finish at the end of term 3. So your child's school will not go back to the foundation. This is why I say that parents need to get involved. You can't leave your child's maths to the school alone. No. Because I can bet you that if that 8-year-old goes back to school, they stopped. Maths is a continuum. If a child is going to do division of decimals, they should have got division of fractions and division of single-digit numbers, double-digit numbers, triple-digit numbers. So math is a whole secular. So at any care, and those of you that have older children struggling with math, please go back to the foundation. If you think it is there, then seek remedial support that goes back to the foundation. If that child is taken care of in the foundation, then as they progress along, you no longer be a problem. So you have older children, go back to the foundation. You have younger children, routinize maths. Make maths part of their everyday life. In that ebook I shared with you guys, if you read the introduction, I said that there is this social media meme, that asks, what do we really do with maths? For someone who says that that their children see maths as big deal. If you go through that book, I started with an introduction where I said that one of the things that we do at Lenville Crest is to make maths experiential. So children often will be like, what am I even doing with this math? But math is part of life. At the heart of technology is math. At the heart of engineering is math. At the heart of architecture is math. So your child, one of your mindsets for engineering is that they begin to see maths from a different light. That math is just like the English we speak. It's a language of the world. So for those of us that have stress struggling with maths, we need to do some maths for engineering. And even start with how you say it, math is difficult. We must work on their minds. Then we must improve their logical competencies. We must improve their critical thinking. Teaching your child to play instruments is a way of improving their critical thinking. Board games is a way of improving their critical thinking. Exposure to coding, robotics, and the rest is a way of improving their critical thinking. So this is not a one-size-fits-all conversation. No. It's wrapped up. Like I said, math is a circuit. It's interwebbed. This links to links to this, links to this. That is why those of us that have younger children, you must keep track. You must keep track. You must keep track. To know the typical milestone for your 5-year-old is not hard. There's Google. If let's say that your child's school doesn't tell you what they should be doing and all of those stuff, that's not an excuse. There is Google. There's ChatGPT. You can know what is expected of a child and you can look at your child's homework to see what you can support with. When your child doing open day, you can have conversations to know what your child is struggling with. That's it for math. So I hope that I have answered your questions. If your child is struggling with maths, let me know if this has just given you an idea of what you can begin to do to help that child. Then the next one would be how to improve their scientific reasoning. Do expose them to STEM. Expose your child to STEM experiments and STEM apparatus and those science, these things. You want to build a child's brain, expose them to science. Expose them to whether it's a form of biographies, whether it's sort of record documentaries, whether it's a form of like practical apparatus and all of those good stuff. You can expose your child to science early. Thank you, Miriam, for that response. Then we have how to improve their curiosity and critical thinking. Let's encourage curiosity. Have your child ask you loads and loads and loads of questions. Then we now move to how to develop your child's cognitive abilities. You see, academic competencies is not isolated. Or let me say this again, that academic competencies are not isolated from executive function. When the chips are down and your child begins to study for exams, that is when you're going to realize that it is not just what they read that will help them, For example, someone is saying that my child has issues with concentration, memory, and all of those good stuff. One way to help your child is to build organizational skills and responsibilities. You will be surprised how your child's ability to take responsibility can influence their focus on the long run. You will be surprised. You will be surprised. So, start building critical thinking, start building organizational skills in your child. Another thing, like I mentioned, I'm building my child is organizational skills. So, we got a doll that she will take care of, and that doll has scattered, like the doll is everywhere. So she's been asking for something, and I'm like, go and piece your doll together. Go and piece your doll. Go and get the head, the hand, the leg, the shoe, the cloth. Go and bring it together before you get the next thing. This is a little way we're teaching responsibility. Another thing is chores. Self-regulation. I was teaching the other time, I think during the conference, that self-regulation is an anchor for raising A students. You can hardly find a first class student who you have to go and say, go and read your book. You can hardly find such learner. So, some children, remember I talked about nature. Nature gives some, according to their temperament, some children are weirdly organized. Two of them organized for their age. Together, that is nature. But in knowing your child, you know that my child didn't have this thing. My child is a scatterer and a scatteree. I'm not saying my child, though. I'm saying maybe your child. Now, if you do say you have 3 children, you could notice that one is naturally self-regulated. Another is extroverted and scatter. Like, all that thing is just, let me say something. Let me use it. All their thing is just go. You know that this thing, that thing is just anyhow. That child you need to begin to work on their self-regulation and responsibility. And like what Wendy would say, their responsibility, their ability to respond, their organizational skills. It's as simple as you pull your cloth to take it to the laundry. Your child is as old as Vicky that you start. You can start from your 2-year-old. You pull their diaper, you put the trash close to them, so it's easy. Go and throw your trash. It's as easy as saying, after you're done with playing with this set of toys, we have to arrange it and organize it before we move to the next set. It can be as simple as saying, clean up after yourself after using the potty or using the toilet. It can be as easy as saying, learn how to lay your bed. It can be as easy, simple as saying, start to dress yourself up. It can be as simple as leaving your 1-year-old to feed themselves. This is where we are fostering independence, organizational skills, and self-regulation. These things play a role. It is learners that are not self-regulated that will be influenced in the classroom. It is learners that are not self-regulated that will have issues with impulse control. It is learners that are not regulated that will not understand when it is time to do what they need to do. It is learners that are not self-regulated that will have issues with procrastination and time management. Like I said earlier, academic competencies are not isolated from executive functioning skills. In fact, Your child's executive functioning skill will further amplify their academic competence. So emotional regulation, organization, self-regulation, self-awareness, these things go hand in hand in helping you raise an independent learner. Now, I'm going to stop now because I want to get your questions. I can, of course, continue to go on and on and on, but I'm going to stop to take your questions. But before then, I would like to mention that I am considering, right, a mastermind for parents like us and like yourself, where we just gather and I'm able to hold your hand. These webinars, I do them once in a year. But I believe that there's someone here who once in a year is not enough to really run with this thing. But I want to know if it's something you want to consider. Where I hold your hands on a timely basis. The last Accelerated Child's Learning was webinar based. But right now I'm thinking accountability based. So the last one, we did a lot of webinars and answering your questions. But this time around, for those of us who joined Accelerate the Child's Learning last year, I hope it was valuable for you. I hope you've been able to run with the information that you got, because for me, it was also valuable. But I'm really thinking, is it possible that we get into a room and I'm able to hold your hand? So for the people who said, oh, my child is struggling with handwriting, and my child is struggling with this or that or the other one, is it possible that you would want us to get into a room? If you think it's what you want, we're talking about it here, just send me a DM. Let's get this thing worked out. But your child's academic excellence will thank you if you're deliberate about laying the foundation. There are things we can't higgle around. Except you want to get to the point where you're not looking for money to go and pay for people that are in Nigeria to go and pay for exam. Or when your child, it's time for your child to take external examination, your heart is skipping and you're running around. The school will not develop your child's study skills. The school will not develop your child's self-regulation. They will not. It is your own response. The way I take my child, well, of course, parenting and all of that. But I tell you, my parenting has been intertwined with my child's academic competencies. It's merged in. So we are doing morning devotion. I'm doing an extremist, but really, I want to raise an academic excellent child. I'm an educator. And I really want my child's result to be, yeah, that's a personal goal. But her academic excellence is at the core. Of course, there are other things at the core, but her academic excellence is at the core of what I do, the work we do. No one's saying those abacus. She's those abacus learn. What do you mean by those abacus learn? Abacus helps with critical reasoning, right? So, like I said, just send me a DM. For those of us who are interested, send me a DM. If I get enough of the interest, I'm going to open it up for a lot more of us. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to share with you. We do it on a timely basis where you come together. Of course, it's going to be paid because we need to ensure that you are interested. We look at your goals and we take your goals per week, per term, and we have weekly webinars, just monthly webinars, not weekly webinars, monthly based webinars. So we're coming back to review the month. Oh, how did we start? What did we do? How did we achieve the goal? How did we not achieve the goal? These things are doable. But at the end of the day, I think it's your goal. So it's time to take your questions. Thank you so much for being here. So I hope the session has been valuable for you. What I just want you to do, what I want you to do for me right? What I want you to do for me. Thank you, Jamila. Thank you. I'm grateful. Jamila, my own daughter is reading at 5. You know, it's one thing, right? Please get with me. If anybody knows my story, you know that the child's academic excellence is achievable. Is achievable. When I started Learnville at 2022 September, at that point, my daughter didn't know her colors. She was 3 years, 6 months. She didn't know her colors. Like colors are the first thing awareness of the environment. That's the first thing a child knows. She didn't know her colors. With the stars I was teaching, we kept on shouting sounds over and over. In the space of 2 years, my daughter is a working genius, as I say so myself. And in as much as we do a good job with Lenville and all of that, but it's in this energy and the strength, is in how I've been expertly able to intertwine our goal into our learning journey. We go into my parenting journey. So I want to build her confidence. It's inside her learning journey. So I really want her to be very outspoken because naturally, remember the nature nurture principle. Naturally, she's introverted, but I really want her to be able to speak up for herself. What am I doing in my parenting structure? In our day-to-day, everyday structure, there is something we are doing to improve her confidence. My daughter used to be shy for her. So even if she's reserved and introverted, she is not shy. The baby's confident. As at now, I've still been haggling with a timid child. Whatever, like I said some time ago, that parenting is skill based. Whatever you're looking to achieve with your child, there is a skill that child needs. There is a competence that child needs. Immediately, you are able to equip them with that skill and that competence. You are on your way to helping them fly. So I have shared the link. If anybody wants to come up to ask the questions, if you have your questions, you can leave them on the comment in the comment section as well. Please, does Abacus learning help with mathematics? Yes. 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 I like to think about it from the point that it improves a child's critical reasoning. So yes, if you're opportune to expose your child to the Shenmue Abacus, I think that's what you're asking. That's the Shenmue Abacus. It's something I'm hoping to, get into the school soon. But it's something you can do, yes, I'll totally endorse it. It's the critical reasoning for me and the speed. So it gives your child speed, right? It gives your child speed. So while I wait for your questions, let us take the academic excellence details again. All right. The Academic Excellence Conference holds from 30th to the 31st of August. I'd like to call for volunteers. You're here, you want to volunteer to spread the word, you want to volunteer to invite people around you. This is one of the best gifts. I can bet my chest to say that this is one of the best gifts you can give to any child. This right here is one of the best gifts that you can give to your child and any child in the environment. So while I wait for your questions, Raina, I've seen yours. I'm going to take that. But while I wait for your questions, Let me know if your child is going to be attending the Academic Excellence Conference. Please let me see you in the comment section. Like I said, it's for children between the ages of 8 to 16. The details for registration will be starting from this week. So if your child is going to be, let me know if I should just cancel it now. So let me just know if I should just cancel it now. So if you have older children between those age group and you know you would like them to be seated for the Academic Excellence Conference, let me see your feedback in the comment section. We're also going to call for volunteers, people who would like to partner with us to push the agenda. This is a fight that we must all fight, right? This is a fight that we must all fight. Everybody, the parents, the children. Yay! Abiola Adewale is in attendance. If this is the only record I get to do, I'm okay. And of course, you're going to spread the word. Even if you have children who are younger, you can also spread the word to your friends. Let's save a generation together. You can spread it to your church. Let's save a generation together. All right. I have Eunice on the call. Hello, Eunice. Good evening. You're muted, please.
Hello, coach.
Hello, good evening. Hope you've had value from today's class.
I came in late. I'm just
Oh, that's
that.
fine. You could always catch the replay.
Yes.
All right, so your question.
Question.
Sorry?
No question, ma. I'm just.
Oh,
I'm going to ask.
okay, okay. Oh, that's fine. You didn't get to what it's fine. Yes, we have Miriam Stanley. Ah, she's attending. That's exciting. Two down. Many, many, many more to go. We have many, many, many more to go. So, Raina asks, my son is so fixated with a particular toy, and I know it's the root of his focus, of his lack of focus, and not wanting to do another thing without a struggle. What can I do that I wouldn't get to make him sad? Hmm. Hmm. So, you're not ice cream, yeah? So, if making him sad will get the work job done, then this by all means. But I understand what you're saying. If he's fixated with a particular toy, I think the first question would be, what is this toy and what does it do for you? So if you find that, let's say that your child has an interest in cars, that's just an interest. You can take that love for cars into what you want him to do. So what let's say that your child is fixated on cars, he loves car racing and all. You can begin to build those skills with a theme on his love for car. So I know that's the root of his lack of focus. I'm not wanting to do another thing without a struggle. What can I do that I really get to make him sad? I think that you can bait him. So we're already talking about a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, if I remember from our last discussion, bait him. But if his fixation on a particular toy is keeping him from doing other things, then you should make him sad to get him to do what is important. But one way to do is to get his buy-in. So you already have a bait, just like the way you use bait to get fishes. You already have a bait. So use the toy to bait him. So if you finish this 1, 2, 3, you can now get this 1, 2, 3. What that thing will do is that it will provide him the dopamine, the energy to complete the other tasks. So in Accelerate, we looked at in-depthly to the concept of focus. And we looked at the hormones that were in charge of focus, which are acetylcholine, dopamine, and adrenaline. And we said that sometimes all you need to do while your child gains the focus muscle, all you need to do to keep him focused is to work on something that increases his dopamine. What helps us focus is this hormone. So acetylcholine, dopamine, adrenaline. Now, adrenaline gives a very short burst of focus. Adrenaline is the energy, so it's energy, but it's very short. It's a short burst of focus. The dopamine is the reward hormone. It's the hormone, it's the hormone that is released either when you're doing an act or when you are anticipating to do an act. So you can increase the dopamine hormone if you're using that thing as a bait. That's what I would advise you to do. So if it's a tussle, use it as a bait to get him to do what you want to do. While you're building, sometimes you go hard turkey. Sometimes you go hard turkey. Sometimes you use the bait. Sometimes you do the talking. Right? This is what I think that you can do to help him. So, Reina, I hope this helps. So, take the feedback and let me know if it helped within the course of the week. Then we can get on the chat so we'll see. We can then break it down and we'll see other scenarios if I'm not really viewing it the way it is. My son is 4. I started reading to him every night since he was because I wanted him to build a love for me and also help his community. Currently, I don't struggle with him reading, but let's say your question is not from me. Super active, find it hard to sit still or finish a task that don't takes long. So confrontational, talks until tell him to calm down. How or what can I practically do to calm him down? Okay. So what you're typically saying is that you have an extroverted child and you have an active child. I'm not going to use hyperactive because that might not be the case, but you have a proactive child, you have an active child, you have a child who talks and talks and talks. Now, these things you're saying are actually a strength. But every child's strength comes with weakness. So if your child is quiet, reserved, that might mean that they are not outspoken sometimes. If your child is extroverted, is a good talker, I want you to change your lens with which you see him. I heard one of my role models, DDT, talk about a scenario that happened. I hope you take an answer from this. So she says that while she was younger, she was quite the talker. So one day, her uncle came to visit the home and he started bashing her. You, this girl, you too talk. You too talk. You are a talkative. Oh God, girls are not supposed to talk like that. She said that her mother immediately corrected her uncle, by saying to him that you see this, my daughter, this her mouth. This her mouth will give her a living. 40 years later, I'm yet to meet a female speaker who is as skilled as Digital. This thing you're complaining is a strength. So what you need to do to help your child is to create and communicate boundaries. So while he talks and talks and talks, help him to know that there are boundaries to this talk. And help him to channel the talk. Now, his ability to sit still, we're talking about a 40-year-old, a 4-year-old child here. I want you to change, change the lens from which you see that child. Change that this is a strength hiding as a weakness. So my goal would be to nurture the weakness while preserving the strength. If not, you end up killing the strength to nurture his weakness. So create boundaries, communicate boundaries, and recalibrate the lens with which you see your child. But communicate the boundaries so he knows that these are the things that are expected of me, and these are the things that are not expected of me. But honestly, there's a limit to how much you can keep an extroverted 4-year-old to sit. So keep him busy. Hmm? Keep him busy. See that waka 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 waka. Keep him busy. All right. So I hope that answers your question. So for those of us teaching, you are helping kids who can read, learn how to read, but parents aren't helping at all. I don't care attitude, not all about home, only school efforts. I think you have to advocate with the school to probably put in parental involvement into their system so they can begin to advocate for parental involvement. A lot of parents don't know they should be involved, right? A lot of parents don't know that they should be involved. That's one thing I want you to take in. That a lot of parents do not know that they should be involved. So you want to create into your school system how to orient it or orient the parents, like basically inform the parent on the importance of their involvement, right? It's very, very important. Very, very, very key. So, like I asked, if you want to volunteer to promote the conference, whether it's through publicity, whether it's through coordinating the teenagers, this is your coach P. She's just doing it for the first time. Please don't leave her out to dry. You know, when God gave the vision, I was like, God, I have arsenals, I have soldiers in my tribe. So please, I am advocating and pleading with you. If you have a passion for the next generation, please partner with me, hold us up in the prayers. It's just 2 weeks to go. We have a very short time frame, and we're targeting 300 to 500 teenagers for the Academic Excellence Conference. Thank you so much, Blessing. The details will be coming up from this week. We need people to help us push it. Imagine if 300 children, I want you to take this vision with me. Imagine if we're sending back 300 children with this fire back to the school. Imagine if whoever says one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. Then imagine the exponential result that 300 teenagers spread across the country and beyond are going back to school with the mindset of excellence. With the mindset of excellence. Not just the mindset. Oh, so the academic excellence conference, we're not just teaching children to aspire to inspire to admire. That's basic. We are practically equipping your children with the skills. But it's not going to be good if my speakers come. These are world-class speakers, and they're talking to 10 children. It will not make sense. So, guys, please, I need you. Like I'm pleading. We need your support. We need your support, whether it's in form of financial support or coach P, use this to do this, use this to do that. We really appreciate. We need your support in form of manpower. You want to help us with administration. You want to help us with coordinating the teenagers because we need minders. We need minders. We need minders on that because it's going to be a Zoom call, and to ensure that everybody is coordinated, we need minders who say, let's say, let me say Daniel, sit up. Yeah, this, that, I need it. The plan is really that at the end of the day, these children will go back equipped to succeed. At this point, I guess I have addressed all of your questions. I'd like to say a huge thank you to, at the point, we have close to 40 people on the live call, which is amazing. So as Jamila said, we'll leave up the replay for a while. Please share this link with someone. You know that it's going to impact a parent. Share this link with someone you know it will impact a parent. I'm going to also share details about the mastermind as we move along. Please don't leave the group. You're going to get value. Of course, if you know me, you know I don't spam groups. And we do not, I don't spam groups, and I do not allow anyone to spam groups. Rather than spam a group, you could have one of my groups, we'll just keep it empty. Then when I have value to give to you, you just find it there. You find it there. Then we did volunteers. One more call for volunteers. Please don't leave your coach. Please not coach P. You're teaching. This class was free. Your payment for me is the Academic Excellence Conference. I believe that together we can partner with God to raise a generation of children and teenagers who are academically excellent. And most importantly, we're going to, by the grace of God, equip them with study skills. I didn't even have time to talk about study skills, so I didn't have time to say anything at all about study skills. It shows you how limited that it's already 2 hours and it's time to end the call. So God bless you. Thank you very much. Every detail about the mastermind, the teach your child to read class, the conference is going to be in the group. Lastly, please, I want you to go on Facebook and rave about this session. Tag me at Precious James Owonia. That is the only thing you're going to do for your Coach P. Go back and tag me and say, Coach P, the class was bam, 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 bam. It's another way of um, blowing the horn of the Academic Excellence Conference. So if the almost 200 of you in the Learning Hub, and those of you who are going to watch the replay, and the people here go talk about it on Instagram, just take a screenshot. Let me post. Hold on. Just hold on. Don't leave. If you leave, I'll catch you. Please, don't blame me. I teach young children. So let me adjust. Take a screenshot. Read it, please. I'm begging you. So take a screenshot and please take a screenshot and share on Facebook with a lesson. I already saw someone share it. I think Jessica. Thank you so much, Jessica. God bless you. So please take a picture, take a screenshot, and we rave about your Coach P. Share session reaches to parents, the more we're going to have people come for academic excellence conference. You see, it works like that. So please take a screenshot and tag me on Precious James Obona, right, on Facebook, and I am Precious Obona on Instagram. God bless you and have a very, very, very beautiful class. Bye, everyone.